In this special episode of A Drier Dose of Disney, Jared shares how to have a Disney vacation for almost free.
Hello, and welcome to a special episode of A Drier Dose of Disney. I'm your host, Jared Dreyer, and today we're going to be talking about how to go to Disney for almost free, which is actually something a lot of people are very interested in. They want to know how to do it. They want to take their family on a vacation, and they don't want to spend a lot of money to do it. So I'm going to teach you today on how to do that. This content is actually special for our Patreon subscribers here at first, and then sometime in 2023, we will release this to the general population. But if you're a subscriber through Patreon, first and foremost, we thank you for your support. We're so glad to have you as part of our team, and this content is for you guys. So this question is one that doesn't come up a lot, and the reason it doesn't come up a lot is nobody's going to ask me, how much did you spend on your trip to Disney? So this is something that they find out after I've talked to them a little bit and said, hey, yeah, we did it for free. And then they're like, okay, now I need to know how you did it for free because I want to do it for free. And if you think about it, people are uncomfortable talking about money. So a lot of people aren't going to ask about this. So once they find out I've done it or word of mouth gets out, then I start hearing a lot of questions. So through people at work, if one finds out and they say, yeah, hey, Jared went to Disney for free, then I get 2 or 3 people come in and they're like, oh man, how did you do it? So I'm going to teach you how to do it and do it successfully. And I'll give you some pro tips and tricks here as we go through this. I'm going to hopefully save you thousands of dollars. So we've made this free, obviously, to those who already subscribe through Patreon. We wanted to give you this episode as a way of saying thank you. If you use this method that I'm going to teach you today and you do save money, you're always welcome to make additional individual donations on Patreon if you like. But better yet, rather than the donations, and I love those and I'll take them. So anytime you have a donation to make, I will take it. I would ask though, go to our Etsy page, check out our merchandise, the I Can Do This All Day merchandise with the Captain America shield and the Disney parks on there. Purchase that, wear it to the parks. It's not branded with our podcast or anything like that. But then when people start asking you about it, hey, that's a cool shirt. Where did you get it? Direct them back. Hey, there's this great podcast. It's called Drier Dose of Disney. You should listen to it. Check it all out. We would appreciate those referrals. So as we dive into this episode, it's funny because I do start some of my other episodes with disclosures, particularly on food, where I say I have not eaten at every single restaurant. I can't eat all the food that's out there, and I'm giving recommendations on it. Today, I've got a completely different disclosure because I'm going to be talking about financial things with you. We're going to be talking about different credit card reward programs. And I know for a lot of you that scares you, but hang in there with me for just a few minutes. I'm going to outline the cost of these programs as well as how they can get you to a free vacation. For my protection, for a fair warning for you, I do want to tell everybody that all credit card programs do come with fees and with interest rates. I will point out the obvious ones through this podcast today, and I'll give you some information on the fees. It's up to you to read the disclosures. And in addition to that, if you're using a credit product, it's up to you to pay it back. So I take no responsibility for that at all. Also, on top of that, I think it's important you know that I work in finance, specifically lending, which is how I know about a lot of these programs. None of these programs are mine, so I am not making any money off of anything I'm talking about here today. So there's no hidden agenda. But the fact that I work in the industry, I know very well how these programs work. And I know that I can make them successful, not only for myself, but for you. And I'm going to share those tips and tricks with you today. When I've shared these tips and tricks in the past with my friends and family, the number one question that I get is, how is this going to impact my credit? Okay, you're talking to me about a credit card. I don't like credit cards. I don't want to use credit cards. I know that they can really mess up your credit. Trust me when I say if you follow the recipe that I give you and you do it the way that I describe it, you will have very little impact to your credit. As a matter of fact, it'll probably improve your credit. My FICO score is over an 800. Like I said, I work in the industry. I know how it works very well. I'm going to give you tips and tricks on how to improve it. So I don't want you getting scared thinking about, Jared's going to talk to me about credit cards and how I can go to Disney for free using credit cards. It's a true statement. You can go to Disney for almost free. It's not perfectly free, but almost free by using these cards. And I want you to feel safe doing it. So I'm going to give you lots of tips and tricks on how to successfully manage that. Big disclaimer here, and I'm waving my hands up in the air. Big disclaimer. If you're in the process of buying a house or trying to get a mortgage, do not utilize these tips until that is all done. I've worked in the mortgage industry. I've managed mortgage industry employees. I can tell you all day long, the number one cardinal sin when you're trying to get a mortgage is to take out either credit or start using credit cards. If you are at all thinking about buying a house or wanting to do that, do not work on this until after that is completed. And once it's done, things have settled down, then circle back and take a look at this podcast and we'll talk you through how to do this. So first, what I want to do when we dive into this is I want to talk about how credit card offers work and how to take advantage of them to your benefit. So credit card companies, which there are thousands of them, are all the time giving out offers, free things, cash back, all kinds of good stuff just to get you to open their card. They are trying to entice you to utilize their plastic. They want you in turn to give them more money than they are giving you. So that's the trick, is obviously you don't want to spend any more money than they are giving you. You want to get a benefit out of it. But let's talk about how credit card companies make money, because they actually make money three different ways. And one we're going to avoid, one we don't care about, and the third one is just going to be par for the course. It's just going to come along with this territory. So first is interest. Anytime that you borrow money, if you don't pay it back right away, and that's a key tip we'll talk about here in a few minutes, but anytime you don't pay it back right away, you're going to pay interest on that money. What we want to do is not pay any interest, which means we want to pay it back right away. So one of the biggest tips that I'm going to give you today, and in fact, we could call it a I can do this all day tip, is anytime you're using a credit card for any of these plans or trying to get things for free, only use it on the spending that you're already going to be doing. So whether that's groceries, that's gas, that is your utilities, because actually utilities give you more points in a lot of cases. Only use it on the spending you're already making. What I like to do is I like to use my credit card for pretty much all of my grocery shopping, going out to eat, filling up with gas, doing all that. And then every other week, every 2 weeks, I pay it in full. And the reason I do it every other week is it has to go a full cycle, which is usually a month, before it will start accruing interest. By paying it every 2 weeks, I never have to worry about that. I always know that I'm way ahead of that schedule. I'm getting it paid off. I don't have to worry about it. The balance never gets out of control. And it's something that's manageable as long as I'm doing spending that is normal for our household. Okay. So keep that in mind. You want to pay zero interest anytime you're doing these things. You don't want to rack up a credit card bill and start paying interest over a long period of time. Credit cards are not to be used for buying the new TV, getting the new Xbox, getting the iPad, putting something really cool on your car or whatever, doing some kind of upgrade that you are not prepared to pay for. Credit cards should in no way be a way of doing instant gratification where you're getting something today that you will pay for later. That it doesn't work. It'll get you into trouble real quick. I tell people, I counsel people on this all the time. I tell them, save up. Think about what you want to do, what you want to buy. And then all of a sudden go out and use your credit card to buy it and pay it off because you already had that money saved up, ready to go. So that way you're earning points. And I'll give you an example on how I do that here in just a few minutes. The second way that they make money is in annual fees. Most of these cards, because they're giving you something for free, are going to have an annual fee. That's why this is not totally for free. So that's why when you do this plan and you get to go to Disney for almost free, it's not totally for free because you are going to pay some annual fees on some of these cards. Some are higher than others, and we're going to talk through those. Okay. That's just par for the course. Almost every card today that's going to give you any type of benefit is going to have an annual fee to help them offset their cost. Okay. So that's something to be expected. Now, your goal is if I'm going to use the card and get out of the card, I may only pay the annual fee once, but I will always tell you, check the fine print to make sure that if you close out the card, you are not losing the benefit that you received. Some of them do have clauses in there that say you cannot close it for 90 days or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're using it for long enough to get the benefit, that they can't claw it back from you, and then you want to go ahead and close it so you're not going to pay the annual fee. The last way that they make money is transactional money. It's called interchange. This is money that Visa makes the institution, so your bank or credit union is going to make, and it's all paid for by the merchant. Okay, so we don't care about that. At the end of the day, Target, Walmart, they're the ones paying this fee. And this goes over to the credit card company, and it's a percentage of what you spend. So every time you swipe your card, they're paying that fee from the merchant to the bank, and Visa and everybody on that side of the coin's making money there. So that's usually how they're going to pay for what they're giving you for free, is through the interchange. Like I said, I work at a financial institution myself. I can tell you the credit card programs I design, I try to make it so all the rewards are paid for by this interchange that we receive from the merchants. So that way it's coming in at a net zero for me, and then I'm making money on the interest on top of that. So that way I don't need to have annual fees. So that's why, and I'll tell you, I work for a credit union. So go out and bank with a credit union. They're going to save you some money because they're not going to charge you the fees like the banks. Knowing how these work and how the credit cards companies make money, I don't want you to be afraid of credit cards. You can get some awesome perks, and that's what I'm going to highlight today. However, another I can do this all day tip that I want to give you guys today is alternatively, and this is how we've been successful, is we like to save up for our big purchases and have the money and savings ready to go, and then make the purchase with the card, like I said earlier, and pay it all off. So for example, I'm going to get LASIK done here in the next couple weeks, and we've saved up for that. So that's already in an account ready to go. But I'm going to pay with my credit card. I'm going to get my points, and then I'm going to pay it off with the money that we saved up. Okay. Now, when you're thinking about some of these credit cards that we're going to talk about, some of them have introductory offers of spend $3,000 in this many days or whatever. If you think I'm not going to spend that much money, totally okay. Save up. Start thinking about what is that big purchase you're going to make. In fact, the way that I did it the very first time to go to Disney for free, and this is the honest to God truth, I was going to go on a cruise with my wife and daughter. So I had already saved for the cruise. I'd already gotten everything all ready to go. We already had our money all in our accounts. I then started taking these credit cards out to pay for the cruise, and then I paid them off immediately with the cash. And because the cruise was so expensive and I paid for airfare and all that, I knocked out like 4 or 5 different offers all at the same time really quickly. So I used one card for the cruise. I used one card for the airline. And then I used one card for all the excursions that we wanted to do on the cruise. And then I got a 4th card for just other little miscellaneous things, and then did my normal spending. And within 30 days, I had already hit all the minimum requirements for all 4 cards and was able to do Disney for free. So let's talk about it. We're going to break it down. So when I look at Disney for free, I'm really looking at 3 different categories. So first are flights. Flights, depending on where you live in the US, depending on what access you have to airlines, are going to be different variabilities of expensiveness. They're going to cost different amounts depending on where you're coming from. Okay. We live in Denver, so the best airline for us is Southwest. That's who I've been using. That's actually the one I'm going to recommend. And the reason I'm going to recommend Southwest is because they have an amazing perk on their card, and that's called the Companion Pass. This is something that normally takes 125,000 points to get to. So it's not easy to get to ever. But occasionally what they do is they will put out this promo, usually in the beginning of the year, January or February. They'll put out a promo that says if you are a brand new card holder and you spend X amount of dollars in the first 90 days, it's usually like $3,000, sometimes $5,000. You will not only get all those bonus points, because they always come in with bonus points. We'll talk about the points in a second, but you're going to get a companion pass for free. Okay. That companion pass is good for 1 year. And a companion pass means anytime that you fly, anytime, not just once, anytime. You could take 10 trips, 15 trips, whatever. Anytime you fly in Southwest, you name a companion, and that companion gets set in their system, and you can bring that person for free. What I recommend is if you've got a family, for example, dad should get his card. And when he achieves that spending goal and gets that companion pass, he should add one of the kids as his companion. You can change companions up to 3 times per year, but by naming it as a kid, then what you can do is your spouse can get a card themselves. Okay, so now you have 2 independent cards going at the same time, and they're going to go out and they're going to do their spend and hit their goal, and they're going to name the other kid as their companion. So now your 2 kids are flying for free anytime mom and dad go anywhere. Okay, so that's a huge perk to have. Now with Southwest, currently their offer is 50,000 points. What I have found is it's usually about 30,000, 40 if it's an expensive time of year. It's about 30,000 points for a round trip ticket from Denver to Orlando. So if I hit that 50,000 point mark just by doing that initial spend, and I get the companion pass, I can use my points for my ticket, and then my child goes for free. And they totally allow that. That's totally fine. They don't care. And then same thing with my spouse. They can use their 50,000 points for their ticket, and their other child then goes for free with that spouse. The only cost for doing this is the Southwest card has a $69 annual fee on the lowest tier, and all tiers are eligible for that 50,000. So I always say go with the lowest one, a $69 annual fee for that lowest tier. And then it costs $11 per person when you book your flight with points or with a companion pass. Okay. So basically, for a family of four, you're talking about $44 in fees for the flight and $69 twice, one for each person to get the annual fee paid for on the card. So you're talking a total of about $180 to get four airline tickets that on average cost anywhere from $500 to $600 and sometimes upwards of $1,000 to go to Orlando. So you could be saving yourself a ton of money with that. Now, Southwest isn't the only airline that does this. They are the only airline I'm aware of that does the companion pass. So if you're going to go through United or you're going to go through Delta or American Airlines or one of the other airlines in the US here, or Frontier, you're going to get their points. Okay, so they're all going to have that introductory offer. But you have to look at how many points does it take for me to get my family to that destination for free. So if it's 30, 40,000, you're going to need, for a family of four, you're going to need 120 to 160,000 points, which you can do 2 cards to get there, or as many adults as you have. So if you have adult children, they can do it as well if they're over the age of 18. But it's going to take a lot of points to get there. That's why I like the companion pass. So that brings me to another I can do this all day tip of the day. Okay, so there's a lot of tips in this one. You should follow us on Facebook. So on Facebook, we have a page, A Dryer Dose of Disney. I'm going to be putting posts out there. I'm going to let you know when podcast things are happening. But anytime that I see the Southwest card offer that companion pass for free, I'm going to post a link and I'm going to broadcast it out to all of my subscribers and all my listeners that, hey, Southwest is doing this for free. This is your window. You want to get this card right now so you can get that companion pass. So you will be alerted to it if you're following us on Facebook. You'll see it pop up in your feed. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, I do recommend you just spend your normal stuff, your groceries, your gas, your utilities, those kind of things. So because you have a 90-day window and you're probably going to need to do it twice, what I recommend and what we do is one person will go first and they will do it right at the beginning of that offer, of that promo. They're going to get their card and we will start just doing our normal spending on that card. It takes about a week to get it. And hopefully we hit it within a couple months. Usually we do, because usually we spend enough on groceries, eating out, and just normal stuff, normal life, that we're going to get there pretty quick. Then what I do is we will apply for the second card towards the end of the promotional period. The reason is you only have 90 days to hit that goal. I don't want to try to do 2 cards at the same time. If I'm trying to do 2 cards at the same time, that becomes a little bit more hectic. And now I have to spend more money to get there. And it may not be my normal monthly spend. But if I do my first card, usually get 2, almost 3 months in, because I need to have time to apply for that second card for my wife. Then she applies, she gets hers in. Now I've got a total of almost 5 or 6 months to get to that spend for the cards individually. So I'm not going out of my way. I'm not spending money I don't have or doing anything like that. So food for thought on any of these deals, you're going to want to stagger the cards. Don't do them at the same time. Now, like I did with the cruise, I was able to, I had money saved up for the cruise and I knew I had to buy my flights and I knew I had to buy my excursion. So I did 2 at the same time. And that was for the hotel. You can see how, if you have money saved up and you're ready to go, how that could work in your favor, and go ahead and then get both cards at the same time. But if you're just doing it through normal monthly spend, stagger them. Also, because we're going to go through multiple different cards and multiple different ways to get there, this could take you a year. Okay. But you have to think about it. For a lot of people, they probably save up for a year to go to Disney. Most people can't just go on a whim. So if you're going to be saving up for a year anyways, just do this, make it free and save that money for something else. Save it for your next Disney trip, right? The other key with these credit cards, a lot of the credit cards only allow the benefit once every 2 years. So what you want to do is you want to get the card, get the benefit, earn it, and then close the card, because it has to be closed. And then in 2 years, you can do it again. So that way you can game the system and keep going back every 2 years and keep saving up every 2 years. So basically you can get on this rotation of every second year, you're able to go to Disney for free. Okay. So we talked about the companion pass. We talked about getting on our Facebook page and following us and how to do it with a family of 4. Next, let's talk lodging. There are lots of options here, but I know most of you probably want to stay on resort. So let's talk about on resort, how you can do it, how we did it, because I'm going to give you another tip there. But we started, when I looked at it, it was the Starwood Resorts card, which has now actually been combined into the Marriott Bonvoy card. So Starwood is no longer out there. It's now Marriott Bonvoy. And that card works with both the Dolphin, the Disney Dolphin, and the Disney Swan hotels in Disney World out in Orlando. So Those are really great upscale properties. They are 40,000 points per night. So you can see how that adds up real quick. If you want to do 4 nights, 5 nights, 160, 200,000 points to get there. But like the Southwest card, that Marriott Bonvoy card has an introductory offer of 75,000 points. You need to spend $3,000 in the first 3 months to get there. The downside to it, though, is it's a $450 annual fee. So it's going to cost you about the normal cost of one night to get that card set up. But the plus side is on that annual anniversary every year, if you keep the card open, they do gift you 50,000 points on your anniversary date. So it's an offset, $450, 50,000 points. They're almost a wash there if you consider how the cards all work. Like the Southwest card, you'll probably need to do 2 cards to get there. You'll need to do a first card to get that first 75,000. Plus, you get the points you spend. So if you spend $3,000, you're now going to have 78, and they always do bonus multipliers. So you're probably going to be closer to 80. And then you have your spouse do the second card, and they're going to go out and they're going to get theirs. The cool thing about Marriott and the program there is you can gift points to each other. What you do is once both people have done theirs, one person gifts the other person up to 100,000. It does max at 100. And they can gift that over, and now you've got enough points to do a week out there at the Dolphin or Swan hotels. Now, here's the tip that I give you for this one. So this is the I can do this all day tip on the hotel credit cards. And why I say we did it. We did do 2 cards. We got that total number of points. When we went to go book our hotels, because it was 40,000 points a night, I sat there and was doing the math on it, and I thought, okay, I can probably get 4, maybe 5 nights for free. We may want to stay longer. It's going to cost me an extra $500, whatever. Because it's Marriott, I started looking off resort. So within the general vicinity of Disney Springs, they've got hotels down there, 5 or 6 hotels that are really close, all within a couple miles. And they only charge like 12 or 15,000 points a night, maybe 18,000 points a night. And here I am with like 160, 170,000 points. So I thought, okay, why don't we do this trip for free going to one of those hotels? And now I've got a ton of points that I can use on my next trip again. So like I said, we've done this twice. That's how. Is that second time around, I just used the remaining points that I had left over. So you can really stretch your dollar on this one if you like, and just stay at still a nice hotel, a nice Marriott hotel. It's just not on resort. So all that you're really losing then is maybe that 30 minutes in the morning that you can go in, something like that. Other than that, if you're just sleeping at the hotel like we talked about in the lodging episode, it's not a bad deal. And the Marriott hotels all have nice pools, and some of them have slides and all that too. So you can still find that off resort and save yourself some points. You could actually get away with probably just 1 card if you wanted to do that. And if you're only going to do 1 trip, just do 1 card. You're going to get enough points from that. Okay. I've also heard that Capital One also has tie-ins with some of the Disney properties. I've not looked into it. I've not explored that, but do know that is an option out there for you as well. Outside of Capital One, outside of the Bonvoy program, you can also use other hotel cards. You've got Hilton's got a Hilton Honors program. You've got all kinds of American Express programs that are tied to hotels and Chase programs that are tied to hotels. You can use any one of those. So just whatever your hotel brand of choice is, you can check that out. They've probably got a card tied to it. You can find out how to get those bonus points and get out there. And chances are you're not going to pay the $450 fee for that annual fee on that Marriott Bonvoy card. You may find one that's got a $50 annual fee, and you can get enough points to stay a mile away. That's probably a better deal and probably what I would do versus staying on site. But if you want to stay on resort, there's a way to do it, and that's going to be through the Bonvoy program. Finally, let's talk about tickets. Park tickets are expensive and probably the most expensive part of your trip. For a normal family of 4, it's going to run you over $2,000 for a week in Orlando if you're doing Universal and Disney. If you're thinking about $100 a day per ticket over at the Disney parks, that's $400. And then if you do 100 more or 100, almost 200, if you're going to do the park to park at Universal for one day, that's going to be almost $500-$600 per person. Family of 4, you're over $2,000 right there. Okay. So to do this one, I'm going to split it into multiple cards. And as a matter of fact, I am not going to tell you which cards. This is up to you. But I do recommend check with your local bank, check with your local credit union, whoever you bank with today. They've probably got a program where they're going to give you bonus points when you sign up and go into their rewards program. And what you want to look for is you want to look for these companies that have 80,000 or 100,000 bonus points when you enroll. The reason being is 80,000 points is usually the equivalent of about $800. 100,000 points is equivalent of about $1,000. So if you think, okay, I'm going to do 2 cards again, I'm going to get 100,000 points on each one. I'm going to do one, my spouse is going to do the other. That's going to be about $2,000, right? What I recommend is do your normal spend, but when you're ready, buy your park tickets. Go ahead and buy them on that card, because usually what they want to do is they want to give you that money back in the form of a statement credit. They don't want to send you cash. Put it on that card and then take the statement credit. And by the way, that counts towards your goal. So if your goal is to spend $3,000, you can spend $1,000 on tickets, and that counts towards your goal. And as soon as you hit it, then use that statement credit to pay it back. Now, I will go a step further, okay? And this is another I can do this all day Disney tip. I will go a step further and say, I'm going to get that money going and get that statement credit built back so that I'm getting some money there on my normal day-to-day stuff. So I'm going to buy my groceries. I'm going to buy my gas. I'm going to pay for my utilities, just money I'm normally spending. And then when I get my statement credit, now the next month I don't have to pay for all those, right? Makes sense? I'm going to pocket that money. So basically I just paid for my tickets. I pocket that money. The reason is I'm going to go to a third card. And the third card is when I go to buy my tickets at Disney, through the checkout process, if you do it online, which I recommend you do it on a computer, don't do it on your phone, do it on a computer. Through that checkout process, you're going to have the option of signing up for their Disney Chase card. Their Disney Chase card is going to give you either $200 or $300 off your tickets that you're purchasing right now. Boom, you just immediately got a discount that you would have never gotten otherwise, okay? This is the only way to get discounted tickets at the Disney parks is through that offer. And you're going to knock $200 or $300 off because they vary that offer. They're going to knock that off the price of your tickets right then and there. And it comes back in the, like I said, in the form of a statement credit. So they immediately will credit you back as soon as that transaction goes through. So it takes maybe a week for it to hit, but you're going to get money back. Plus, I already had money saved aside. So now I've probably actually got a couple hundred extra in my pocket. But the reason you want that card is when you go to the park. So now fast forward, now you're going on your trip. That Chase card is going to give you discounts everywhere you eat, everywhere you shop, and it's going to give you a lot of different perks. And they're going to send you a whole packet on all the perks that you get. It does have an annual fee with it, but again, it's totally worth it because of how much you're going to save. If you think about the food cost alone going to Disney and being able to save using that credit card, you're going to save a ton of money more than the annual fee right there just in food. I recommend that card. Again, that's another Disney tip. I can do this all day tip for you, to go through, buy the tickets online, get that card, get that statement credit, and then pay for it with the money that you saved from the other cars. There are other things to consider. We did briefly talk a little bit about food, whether or not you want to get a rental car, or are you going to get like a Lyft or an Uber, or are you going to stay on resort? What does that look like? So that could be an expense as well. What I have found is for us, normally a family of 3, it costs us just over $4,000 to travel to Orlando, to do the flights, get the hotel, and to get the park tickets if we're just doing a 1 week trip, right? Then I have to add, like I said, the rental car, I have to add the food, all that on top of it. If you do this, and even if you do the Bonvoy card with the $450 fee, for a family of 4 or so, I did the math on it, you're probably going to pay about $1,000 total. So you're going to pay for that $450 card there. You're going to pay for 2 Southwest cards at $69 a piece. You're going to pay for your Disney card, and I believe that one's $60-some or $70 a piece. You're going to pay for just little bits like that, and then they're going to add up to about $1,000. So you're going to come out saving. If you did a family of 4, normal price is probably about $5,000. You're going to come out saving about $4,000 doing it this way. Okay, so there is a way to do it. You do need to be organized. I do recommend whoever's the organized person in your household, they are the ones who map this all out. And they say, this month we are doing this card and we're putting everything on it until we hit our goal. And then I'll close it. And then the next month we're going to start it on our next card. And they're the ones that are applying for it. And they're the ones that are telling the other person, okay, now it's your turn. You need to go online and apply for this card. And when we get it in a week or so, we'll move everything onto that card and keep going. It will probably take you a year to get there. But you're going to have a cool Disney vacation that's stress-free, worry-free. You've not only saved up for it, but you've paid for all of it through all these points just by doing your regular spend. Okay? So, again, final warning, do not go into debt doing this. Do not go out and start buying TVs and buying all kinds of things for your house. You want to use your card for just the regular spending you're doing every month. That way it's a wash. You're never paying interest on it, and you're getting all these points. Those points are what gets you there for free, and you can bank them. Most of the companies will tell you as long as you keep doing something or you utilize something within the next 12 months or 18 months, your points don't ever go away. For Southwest, as long as you take one flight per year and you use your Rapid Rewards number, points never go away. They can be out there forever and you can keep using them year after year. And again, like I said, every 2 years, a lot of these offers are available again to you. So you can keep going back there and doing it over again. And it's not going to hurt your credit. As long as you're paying it every single month, you pay it back down to zero. You use it, pay it back down to zero. It'll never hurt your credit. And in fact, it'll help you because it'll show that you have a larger available credit out there. As always, we are available if you have any questions. If you want to know a little bit more, you want to ping me or bounce an idea off of me, go to our Facebook page. That's probably going to be the easiest way to get a hold of us. You can send us a message through there or any of our Dryer Dose of Disney sites. Again, we want to help you out. We want to help you be successful. Our Patreon, our top tier, actually gets time with me one-on-one per quarter. So if you want to do that, you can sign up for that and we can sit and talk about all this and I can strategize it with you. And we can look at the airlines in your area and where you live and the best ways to get there. So I'm willing to help you on this. Please go check out our Facebook page, our Patreon page, and join us there. And if you get in that tier, like I said, you'll have time with me every single quarter. So thank you for joining us today. Again, I will put all the things in the links that I discussed today. So like the Southwest card, the Bonvoy card, I will put links down there for you guys. On those links, there is a chance on some of them, not all of them. Some of them, I do get points if you sign up. So full disclosure there. But yeah, go out there and figure out how to make this work for you and take advantage of it and go to Disney for free. Okay? We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.